Hey everybody, welcome back to the KNB Music Den. He's always laughing at me.
It was a good delay, that's why. It was a wait.
I am Keith.
I'm Brad.
And this guy's been doing this to me. I'm finally going to do it to him. This is a surprise video. He has no idea what we're about to do.
No clue.
Right? Zero clue. So, today I want to talk about innocent pleasures. We've all heard of the guilty pleasures. But I have picked out 3 albums that would be seen as guilty pleasures by most people, but I'm going to defend them.
Okay.
And defend why I love this album. And it might, to the average music fan, it might be like, really? You love that album? You love that band? You love that artist? I'm going to defend them, and I'm not ashamed. Well, I'm a little ashamed, but
okay.
No, okay. I'm not ashamed to say, damn it, this is a great album. You should check it out. You might not like it, but I love it, and I'll go over why. So... But here's the thing.
Okay.
You're probably wondering, where do I come in all this?
How does this work with me? Yeah.
Well, here's how it works with you, my friend. I'm going to pick out 3 albums that I already have in my mind that are innocent pleasures that I'm going to stand here and defend to these people. As I do that, you are going to look around this entire room and find 3 more that you think are, dude, what's up with this? Why do you own this? And I will try to defend those 3 as well.
Okay.
So you can look through vinyl, you can look through CDs, you know where everything is pretty much. So you start digging and I'll start talking. All right. So, folks, let's see. The first one is probably the hardest one to defend. This is, and it just happens to be the very front album on this one row here. So it's always looking out at my people that come in. But this is an album from the, I believe, early 90s. From a guy called Louie Louie. And the album is called The State I'm In. There's a song on there called The State I'm In as well. He actually had a minor radio hit when this album came out with a song called Sitting in the Lap of Luxury. Sitting in the lap of luxury, sure feels good to me. This is pop, this is schlock, this is, I mean, if you look at some of the lyrics of this and listen to this, some of this is downright cheesy, corny, hard to defend, but for some reason when this came out, I love that song so much that I got the whole album and I just dug into it. And I mean, this guy means every word he sings. If you find it to be cheesy, corny, whatever, but he stands by it, and I don't know, there's something about this guy. His voice is fantastic. There's some Latin flavor to this music, which I like. For example, there's a song on here called Penny Lady. It's about a homeless woman. And I've said this before to people about this album, but particularly that song. You can listen to this and...
Sneaking back here.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Do your thing. Big room. So Penny Lady is a song that it will either like make you cry or make you laugh because you're just like, this is so schlocky. Like in the last verse, he's singing about how... the old man on the corner said the penny lady passed away. This was a woman that was a homeless woman that he would pass by in his travels. And the one part of the song says, here, take my album. You can sell it for $1. And she says to him, I ain't got no stereo, no place to plug it in, but thank you. God bless you. Come back and see me again. So it's this old homeless lady and that's obviously nothing funny about that. But the song is like a piano-y ballad. And then in the song, it's the man is saying to him, that the penny lady passed away, and he's like, he's just like so distraught. And then he feels her hand on his shoulder, and she says, ignore the old man on the corner, he's been drinking for a while. She was still alive. So if you're invested in the song, you listen to it, you're like, oh my gosh, the penny lady's still alive, thank God. Like, you're either like so wrapped up in it, or you're like, this is horrific. So it's, but it's both at the same time, which is why it's so interesting to me. There's a song called Rodeo Clown. There's a song called Let Me Divorce You. It's very interesting, but the music is fantastic. He's got a great voice. There's a ballad on here called I Want to Get Back With You, which is absolutely fantastic. I don't know why it wasn't a radio hit, along with Sitting in the Lap of Luxury, which has some horns in it. Great. So there are hit and miss songs on this album for your average fan, but I think it's worth checking out. I don't know. So Louie Louie, The State I'm In. Interesting. Now, this next one, I will say, is an innocent pleasure. I'm not guilty about this at all because I think this album is absolutely fantastic. And I know it's right here. I just got to find it and pull it out. Here it is. So, this is Nelson, After the Rain. And, everybody was talking about, oh, they're twins. They have the long hair. They look like girls. They sing like girls, and all this stuff. And they took a lot of shit. I tell you, compared, when you think about all the stuff that was out in the early 90s that was this ilk of music, like the hair stuff and like the, you had to have the big ballads. You had to have the big guitars and the harmony vocals and everything. This is twin brother harmony. You're not going to get much better than that. But every song on this album is so good. I've listened to this album so many times in my life, I've lost track. It is a fantastic album, criminally underrated, but they have their fan base. Nothing they did after this came close to this, but there's some good stuff. Because We Can was the next album, which has had a lot of good songs. They're still making music. And of course, if you don't know, they are the twin sons of Ricky Nelson, who was a teen pop star in the late 50s and onward, and then became a kind of a rock country star, and then he tragically passed away, I believe, in a plane crash. There goes Brad again. So
he's upset then.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought he was still digging it. So I got to talk faster. But so Nelson, After the Rain. Do you know this album?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this is so fantastic, and that's why I call this one an innocent pleasure, because I don't think there's anything guilty about this at all. So I strongly recommend you check it out. You may know the song Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection, After the Rain, the title track, and there's some great ballads on there too. I got one more I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to see what I need to defend with him. So this one, this, I'm just going to say it, crucify me in the comments. This is one of the most perfect pop albums, and remember, pop is not a 4-letter word, it's a 3-letter word. This is one of the most perfect pop albums I've ever heard in my life. I am actually a little embarrassed to say how many times I've listened to this album. Donny Osmond, Eyes Don't Lie from 1990. I have been trying to find this on vinyl forever. I would easily pay, I would probably pay up to $50 to have this on vinyl.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And I could probably get it online right now and have it shipped to me for half that. I just always look for it in the store. That's kind of how I am, but eventually I might have to just order this. But anyway, there was a very minor radio hit off this album called My Love Is a Fire, but there are gorgeous ballads on here. There's a couple songs that are like a little like, okay, that's a bit past the cheese-o-meter with the lyrics and stuff. But the production of this album is absolute perfection. His voice is a revelation. I mean, everyone knows him as the pop star, as a kid idol, and then his work with the Osmonds, his brothers in the 70s and stuff. This album came right after his self-titled album in the late 80s that had the big hits, Sacred Emotion and Soldier of Love, okay? This one didn't really have any big hits, but this album is so perfect. If pop is not your thing, if just that perfect pop song formula is not your thing, yeah, you'll throw this right out the window. But if it is, and you cannot think about, and this is what I've said to people, if someone years ago, like at the height of his fame, like Justin Bieber, let's say, someone like that, took this album, with all the production, all the music, just took out Donnie's voice, and he sang the songs instead, it would have been considered, or Justin Timberlake, it would have been considered one of the greatest pop albums ever recorded because the songs are so good. But I'm thinking maybe because it's Donny Osmond, as he's older, it didn't really get much attention. Trust me, eyes don't lie, and there are his eyes. There it is. Donny Osmond. I stand by this one. Innocent pleasure till the day I die. Check it out. Donny Osmond, Eyes Don't Lie from 1990. What do you got for me to defend, buddy? Come back in the shot here.
Some of these are just more curious how much you actually know.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff I don't even know.
Yeah, so let's see. First one.
Red Akins, 1,000 Memories. Okay. This I don't know too well. I know. Here's the thing with this one. This is what I'll explain.
Okay.
When it was in the 90s, I spent a lot of years in the 90s in high school, and as I went into college, I was working at a shoe store in my area at the outlets. And both the manager and the assistant manager, Sherry and Tracy, if you're watching, loved the current, which was at the time 90s, country music. At the time, I detested it.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Okay. But now, knowing what... Come in the shot here, buddy. Now knowing that today's country music is basically pop crap for the most part, this stuff was actually really good.
Compared,
so looking back, now I find these CDs for 25 cents, 99 cents, and when I recognize a name like Rhett Akins, I get it because it's so cheap and I want to kind of go back and listen. Oh, I did hear that song at the store. And just so that's why I have Rhett Akins. You would find a lot more like this as you look through, and I've gotten more recently actually that aren't even out here yet. But so that's my Rhett Akins defense. I know his name. I look at these songs. No idea. but I'm kind of going back through that time in my life and reliving it as I get these dirt cheap. So I don't know too much specifics on it, but that's my defense. Hopefully calling it an innocent pleasure of Rhett Akins. What do you got next for me? I'm ready.
Well,
I'll defend
the next
it.
two, I don't know that you need to defend them as much as I would think they're curious. Let's start with this one here. Yeah. This is my innocent.
Yeah, why don't you talk about this one?
Well, I'm curious because I see you got it now, so I'm curious. Did you listen to it?
A little bit.
No,
when I first got it, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is an album I mentioned as being an innocent guilt, pleasure, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. So yeah, I found it for like $1 or $2, and I was like, "Oh, Brad told me about that."
Well, I seen it in there. I was like, "Oh, he must have went on."
Yeah.
I think. I mean, this guy was considered MTV, like he was just an MTV personality. Really, who was he dating? Ashley Simpson or something like that.
Oh yeah,
for a while?
Well, I remember On the Way Down.
Yeah, I think musically it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the guy had some talent. So, I've had that album. I think I got it at the store we worked at.
Yeah. Did you have a bit of a crush on him too, Brad?
No.
No,
No, but I remember hearing the songs going, they're not bad songs.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing. Some of these pretty boy, they take a lot of flack. They can't help it that they're pretty. So it just comes down to the music. And yeah, I picked this up because it was $1 or $2, and I remembered you saying that you really liked it.
Yeah, so.
And
then this last one, I know the story, but I think it'd be interesting for you to tell the people why you have this sitting on your, like it's an icon album.
It is for me.
It is.
Hal Ketchum. There's nothing guilty or, I guess you could say it's innocent because I'm defending it. Hal Ketchum is one of those, again, 90s country guys that was like, he's one of my favorite country artists of all time. And I'm talking Garth Brooks, Vince Gill, like all the big ones and the old classic ones and stuff. Hal Ketchum is no joke. He has passed away, actually, sadly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Okay.
But the reason why this cassette of this album, which I believe I have on CD as well, is displayed up on my my holy shelf there, is because I was in a pretty serious car accident about 5 or 6 years ago. I was hit head on by a drunk driver. Luckily, the way our cars met, the two fronts of the cars met, that it felt like trying to driving into a wall, but I didn't flip. I didn't, I got injured, but nothing like a broken leg or anything. It was just aches and stuff, which I still have actually. But this tape was playing in the car when my car got hit, and I saw my life flash before my eyes. And there's a song on here. I got to make sure I get the title right. It's Hal is a country star, and he's also country gospel at times. He's a man of faith. The song is called Swing Low. It's not Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, but it's called Swing Low, and it's about his faith, and it's a slower song, a mid-tempo. Beautiful, beautiful song. Swing Low by Hal Ketchum. And when I went to go get what I could pull out of what was left of my car, I was able to still eject this tape and had the case in the car. So I pulled it out, and when I got home, I threw it on right where it was on the tape, and it was near the very end of that spiritual song. So I don't know, it was just something about that. I was just like, someone was watching out for me. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm glad you pointed that out. Yeah, it's a personal story there. But yeah, Hal Ketchum, innocent pleasure through and through, because I think he's one of the greatest of the 90s country scene. So, yeah, man, I thought you'd maybe find something a little more even that I had to defend. Go look for one more. Go look for one more in the CDs. Come on.
Jeez, you're putting
I don't know, man. How ketchup? I mean, that's nothing guilty about that at all. I want something that's like looks like silly to you, and I might even not even know that I have, because it just like has a weird cover or a weird name, or I don't know, man. I think you got one more in you. But again, so we went over Louie Louie.
All right, I got one.
We got Nelson. We got Donny Osmond. And we got these three. One more. Yeah, see, this is what I wanted you to do. This is what I wanted you to do. Come in here. Silk. The band is called Silk. The album's called Lose Control. I went through in the 90s, especially early to mid 90s, big R&B phase, which again, innocent pleasure. I love the 90s R&B scene. Boyz II Men, Shy, Jodeci, Al B. Sure, New Edition and all the offshoots of that, Bobby Brown, Ralph Tresvant, all that. Silk, Riff, Troop. I mean, all these R&B bands, these guys could just stand around and even do it a cappella and just sing. And you know, a lot of the modern R&B is over-sexualized, in my opinion. It's just too much. Now, these guys, all those guys back then, they had songs that were like sexing up your woman, but it was in a romantic way.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a, like, I don't want to say degrading way, because that's not necessarily what they're doing nowadays, but it wasn't so overt, let's put it that way. So the song Lose Control, the title song on this is, I believe it's mostly a cappella, and it's about, you know, just having a love relationship with this woman. But there's a great song in here called Happy Days Are Here Again. And just fun, a little more innocent, but still, you know, getting their point across. So that's Silk with Lose Control. This is what I wanted to defend.
Well, we got one of them there.
Yeah, so that's an innocent pleasure for me. I think Silk are a great R&B band from the 90s. I defend that. So, folks, thanks for sticking with us here, going through my innocent pleasures. Maybe we'll do another one where I make him talk about some of his. Yep. But I thought I'd throw him a little surprise here.
There we go.
So, for Brad, I am Keith. This is the K&B Music Den. Please like this video, share it on social media, smash the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you soon. Drop in the comments, what are some of your innocent pleasures? Defend them to the world right here on YouTube. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.